Hello, welcome to Boomi FinTalk. Today we want to analyze expenses using Boomi FinTalk. Given the tough market conditions that we live in, we want to understand expenses and more specifically discretionary spend, their trends, and how can we use Boomi FinTalk to analyze and manage such discretionary spend. Right? So let's get started. So I want to understand how each expense category has developed as a percentage of total revenues, right? When what you see here, again, in less than 10 seconds, you got a table created on the fly, which shows the total expense values. And the percentage of total revenues is computed by Boomi FinTalk on the fly. And what you see here are personal expenses and other operating expenses. That's about 50% of the spend. So this is great. And internally, we have a budget threshold of 8%. So anything that's moving beyond an 8% growth rate needs to be analyzed. So let's look at all those expense accounts which have a growth rate of more than 8%, right? So, wow, there's quite a number here, right? So we can't attend to everything, but let's look at the ones that matter to us the most. And how do we do that? So we have this table that's created on the fly with the list. Let's sort it based on the growth values. I think payroll we already know. It's based on a hiring plan. Consumption of raw materials is based on the revenue and product strategies. Marketing expenses, interestingly, is a 3 million growth, 11%. So definitely a discretionary spend warranting further deep dive. So let's look at marketing expenses and its development for over the last couple of years and see if there's any interesting trend that we can use. So what we see here for each of the cost center that has invested their marketing dollars, there is quite a bit of spend here. And what you see here, when you sort this based on the growth values, of course, there are increases and decreases. There's a reduction in some places. But there is a 115% increase in spend for the cost center purchase and stores, right? And this is definitely a significant spend, and we need to understand why. And is this something that's normal or not in the usual course of business? And what can we do to reduce the spend, right? So let's look at this spend by supplier. I want to understand the marketing for this particular cost center, and you see there's quite a bit of suppliers or supplied marketing services to this cost center. And now this is a very interesting information. There are a few suppliers who supplied more than the others, and there's quite a number of suppliers. This also calls for consolidation of spend from a marketing perspective. So let's before we reach a conclusion, there's one more aspect that we need to look at. I want to look at the monthly spend to see the procurement pattern, right? And this might throw some information on how the spend has evolved. And we see that in certain months, the spend is high. Let's look at the visualization. Wow. So during middle of the year, there's quite a bit of spend, and the end of the year, there's quite a bit of spend, right? And this seems a little odd. So now I think I have the information I need to discuss with the cost center manager and the head of marketing to see how we can normalize this and reduce this discretionary spend. Thank you.